All right. Good morning. Good morning. Sunday morning motivation with Kevin and friends. There's actually, I've got some great people here. Oh, Teal, Central State graduate. All right. My alumni. Way to go. Way to go. Um, this is our first of many meetings to come. I am Kevin McLemore. I am your host. My co-host and business partners from RMK Productions have joined me this morning. Marjorie Phoenix, the president and founder, co-founder of RMK Productions. My business partner, Ray Porch, educator in Boston Public. My business partner, RMK Productions, and co-host of One Queen, Two Kings. Special guest on Talking with Kevin and Son when Son can't fill in. And my family and friends from the Bronx, New York, educators. Well, there you go. You got Danielle, you got Tori Ellis, and my Central State alumni in Philadelphia itself, dynamic person, Teal. All right, let me explain why we're doing this. We're trying to do something different, bringing the community together. You know, our commitment with RMK Productions is to motivate people, uplift people, inspire, and share stories and experience, all using the framework of teaching and learning. And one of the things is people toss out quotes, and there's nothing to stand on with the quotes. This Sunday, we are going to give a foundation to every single quote that we have heard, we have created, and we know that every quote is based on interpretation and perception. So this morning's quote on Sunday's motivation is, drum roll, please, humanity over money. All right, and I'll start out with, for me, how that quote came into place is through the pandemic. We all went into a panic over what we were going to do, and the big conversation is what I don't have, what I can't do, and we always talked about the time when we have more time, what we would do with it, and for many of us, we did nothing, and the circle around us was strictly about, you know, what I can't do and what I can't buy and where I can't go. And I think COVID changed the narrative of what life is all about. We discovered who we were as people. We found out that daycare meant to take care of your own kids. We found out that educators, the value of education, you had to share that knowledge and learn with your kids and be present. And we also found out that the environment that we currently live in is not painted as pretty as we thought we are. So, you know, looking at that, when I talk about humanity over money, I remember a story that Dave Chappelle said. He says when his father was telling him about when he was going into comedy, he says, you got to know your price. And I think we're all learning, you know, where our price is and where our real values are. So when I look at that quote, humanity over money, I look at the relationships that I have with many of the people that are on this platform that have shown up to share time and space with me. I look at my impact and my influence and the people that I have. When I say reach one, teach one, I remember the lessons my grandfather gave me. He said, when you get to a place that you can make a difference in someone's life, it's part of your duty to do so. You know, there's never been a U-Haul behind a hearse. You can't take it with you. But you also have to remember the impact that you have on a person in the present situation has much more value when you leave the room in present state. So I'm going to turn this over to, and this is an open forum. I'm going to, my Southern upbringings is going to toss it directly over to Marjorie. And we're going to hear your take on it. We'll go to Raymond, Teal, Danielle, and Tori.
I'm not ready to go yet. Just you can
Oh,
go around the room, and I would love to hear other people's perspectives before I
Ray,
chime in.
anything?
Sure. I love that this is a this is a conversation, and so the quote lands for me in a way that it's synonymous with the way I live in the world. I come from very humble beginnings in my life, and grew up in a housing project, you know, in a very large family. I'm the youngest of 10 children. And we went without a lot in life. And I always tell this funny story that, like, you know, I've had a lot of blessings and a lot of really kind people, generous people in my life, and was fortunate enough to play a game that I love in basketball. And all that to be said, I've gotten a chance to see all four parts of the world in this life, and lead in spaces and go into rooms with people with lots of material means in the world. And most importantly, be blessed to be able to be in front of young people and spend time with them, be next to them, be behind them. And so what I've learned in this short, you know, but long period of time in this life is that, you know, how we interact with people is the most powerful means that we have on the planet. And I say that as an I statement, that's something that I believe. And so that quote holds a lot of value for me on a very personal level. And I'm not shy about sharing that with people when I come in contact with them. I guess for me, the thing that I would close with is this. I was interested in talking about sharing this quote, you know, and having and hearing what others thought about it, you know, because it is one thing, as Kevin said, to talk about what the words mean to you. It is something something else to kind of share how you operationalize the word and live in a quote that lands for you. And I think for me, what I'll share with you is this: the power in the quote and how I action, how the quote becomes action in my life is that when I build relationships, I try not to come into those relationships looking for a gain of some sort. It's the premise of capitalism in America, is to climb singular, chase the bag. You know, think about things from this perspective of business. It's not personal, it's just business. Humanity is very personal. And so I shun that perspective, and for good, bad, or indifferent, I live in it with the doors that open as well as with the doors that close. And I anchor myself to my humanity in all that I do. You know, communication, relationships, how I, you know, learn from students and try to share what my experiences have been with students in the construct of education. I am a human first in all that I do. So that is how I try to operationalize not just the words, but the value that the words have to me. And with that, you know, I'll pass the mic. Marjorie, are you ready, or would you like to go to Ms. Ellis or Danielle?
You can move on.
Okay, so whoever else is ready, just chime in. I'm gonna mute myself.
All right, just go ahead and unmute yourself if you're ready. Tori, Teal.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity. I've came into my inbox yesterday, so that's a perfect topic that we have right now, because everybody, you know, are hurting money-wise, and with humanity, we got to look at the kindness and what we can offer and give, because right now and everything's going to say we stopping the rentals, we stopping all everything that they gave us during the pandemic. But what shouldn't stop is us being happy, us being able to live the way we should be living. And just by having people being caring and giving. And in my life, it's been always think about someone else. How do you want to make them feel? So that was my whole goal in my life. And now continuing as I retire is to give back, because I was blessed. God blessed me with so many talents and skills that all I have now is to give back what God gave me. And within humanity, that's the perfect thing right now, what everybody needs: kindness, peace, happiness, smile, because the world beats us down every opportunity you get. But when you just sit back and relax and look at the signs that God give us in this world, that peace and love is going to get us through. So I always take the opportunity whenever I can to give back whatever I have that God gave me, from my technology, from my organization and everything, and freely give back. Because sometimes when you give back, people expect you to say, what do you want when you give something? But when you give freely and it all comes from God already, is the perfect smile that you want to see on somebody's face, knowing that they don't have to give you nothing back because you gave them or you helped them. So that's a part of my life. It's been a part of my life since I known from my grandparents saying, take this over, do this, make sure, and when you come out, smile and just treat everybody with the same thing. And that's all I wanted to share.
That is amazing. It's an amazing share. Is a beautiful perspective on how to look um, at this world, this life, to the heart of someone that's a giver. I know Teal. I know everyone on here personally. Um, I hope I don't cry doing any of these things. You guys are just freaking great. All right, let's go up next. Tori or Danielle, let's hear your take.
Tori, am I tagging you in? No?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Tori, am I tagging you in? Are you going first?
You can tag me in. That's fine.
Turn your volume up.
Excuse me?
Turn up your volume so we can hear you.
Oh, I talk very low. I'm sorry. So let me project my voice a little bit. From this topic is something that can definitely hit home, especially being in the community where we are dealing with the upbringing of a new generation, also going through a transition of times. So coming from a standpoint where you grow up around a lot of people who have been able to inspire, a lot of people that have been able to motivate, it's something where you are left with gems or just tidbits of an example of how you would want to push forward with yourself, with your mindset, and just being a valuable person to the community around you. And for me personally, I know one of my biggest things is I'm here to inspire, not to influence. Reason being is because everybody now today, especially with social media, influence is one of the biggest things. Everyone is an influencer. But in that sense, everyone is different in their own way. So to influence, you kind of swing someone to be in your own perspective. But when you're inspiring someone to think beyond what they probably have limited themselves to think, go above the cap, go above what they limit themselves to be. So I know as far as with humanity over money, it's when you're able to inspire, you're giving a timeless, limitless amount of energy or a limitless amount of knowledge that someone can use as wisdom later on down the line, where it's now something that they can translate into something more beneficial than money. Probably it could turn into money that can help them later on down the line, but it's something that they can definitely feed off from the soul and grow to be far past their wildest dreams. I pass it over to you, Danielle.
I should have went first because that was really good. Now I don't even know how to come back with that. You're just taking notes. Now I'm really upset, but it's okay. I'm going to get through this. Thank you very much, Tori. When I thought of that quote, I broke it up into categories. And the first category I thought of was, how do I show up for my students? The humanity over the money. You can take a job that's going to pay you all of this money, but do you feel fulfilled afterwards? Changing careers from finance to education, that there's a big pay cap. There's a big difference in the amount of money that you can make annually. Teaching is the humanity part of it. I mean, I get so much more out of being able to push students and push adults to think outside of the box, like Tori said. That is what wakes me up in the morning, not the O's or the zeros in my bank account. That keeps me up at night. But getting up every morning to inspire the students is the humanity part that outweighs any amount of money that I could make in terms of education. But and then small business, as we think about us and we're all learning from each other and we do a lot of things for free. And that's the humanity part, because you know that we could charge more for the services that we offer. But the humanity part is our way of saying, I'm planting the seed in this organization. I'm planting the seed in this business because I know it's going to grow. Sometimes we forget to turn back though and make sure that we're continuing to inspire, like Tori said. You drop the seed and you go, but you didn't give everyone all of the tools, because we turn around and then we start to focus on, oh, I got to pay catch up because I need to make money now. But if you continue to grow all of these different seeds that you drop, it all comes back to you. If there's nothing else, I've learned that from Kevin and Raymond, because they've both spent time with me. And in turn, I've been able to spend time with Tori and pour into her as well, because truthfully, I wasn't as smart as I was a couple of months ago. The two of them truly inspired me. And I mean, I've been hard on Tori, and that's the humanity part, because none of you made $1 off of the conversations that we had. However, it's going to come back because we're showing up for each other. I'm done. That was it.
Huh. Wow.
Wow, I love what everyone had to say here. As you guys started talking, I was thinking about a book that I started reading last year sometime, and it's called The Manifesto for Moral Revolution. And it talks a lot about how you can use social enterprise to help lift people up and basically put humanity first. And it always makes me think about, you say humanity before money, but I always thought about people before profits, right? But what it has been is profits before people. And in this country, and Ray talks about this a lot, this is a machine that runs on capitalism, right? And it has always been that way, and it's about exploiting people and people being expendable in some way. And so the value in people for corporations is going to be what they can bring me, how much money can they make. And that has really been at the forefront. And when you start to talk and flip that on its head and start to look at it, people before profits or humanity first, somehow, some way, you get a little bit more pushback, you get some resistance. You also get people to start to think, well, that's just, it's not something that I want to be a part of, because I'm not going to be able to make any money from it. I'm not going to be able to further myself from it. And because we are in an age right now where influence and putting yourself out there and putting this persona, like you living that life and you getting that bag, when you talk about humanity and people first, you can look at the algorithms and you can see that people won't pay as much attention. And the other part of this too made me think about individualism versus collectivism, which is a big part of that, because that individualism, which I see trying to take hold so much, is in those choices, right, of people not thinking about their community. They're not thinking about society, and they're not thinking about everybody else as a whole. They're thinking about themselves. When they choose not to wear a mask or wear one, when they choose to take the vaccine or not, whatever that is, that all of that goes back to the choices. And so, for me, I see a lot more, and I hate to say this, but we are living in a society right now where it is money over humanity. But it is going to take those of us in this room and those like us, right, to change that. That's what RMK Productions is about, right? We came to flip the script on how media and production companies operate, because they have to operate for the profit, right? But we're operating for the voices of the people. And so when you put something like this forward, you have to bring the people in to be a part of something. And you can't just look at it like this. You got to look at it from another space, the heart space as well. So, and so from my life, I know that this is just the way God created me. That's why I'm in this thing with Kevin and Ray. But from the beginning, it's always been about, I started a nonprofit organization and people already told me, you ain't gonna make no money doing that, whatever. It's whatever you start when you're reaching out to the people, it always has to be tied with, you're not going to be able to make any money. You won't be able to do anything, impactful. And I don't ascribe to that. So doing this, doing our nonprofit, doing everything that we do is all about that kind of messaging. And I think that this was one of the best quotes that we could start and kick off Motivational Sundays with Kevin and Friends.
I will tell you from the bottom of my heart, I can't say thank you enough for everyone that's joined. We're going to stream this, and I'm going to thank all of our listeners for listening in. And I hope that you share, and you pause for a minute and look at the view from your window and how you see the world. And take 5 seconds to say, can I find 1,000 reasons to be kind to someone? And that's my hashtag. Every Sunday, we're going to meet at 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Each Sunday, we're going to have a different quote. Today, we started out with 6 individuals. We inspired to do more. We inspired to impact. And like Raymond says, we're here to educate. If you're not learning, you're not earning. And when I talk about the value of earning, it doesn't come with a president, a dead president on it. You have to remember, a dollar bill has no loyalty to anyone. It is not a permanent resident. A dollar bill has a history that's either supported something or has destroyed something. You have to decide on which side of the dollar bill that you're going to be on. My family here, Raymond, Marjorie, myself, Tori, Teal, Central State grad, woo woo, looking forward to homecoming, and Danielle, we're all about, as Marjorie would say, be the change. Go ahead, Marjorie.
Be the change you want to see in the world. That's not my quote though, but hey, that's what I live by.
That's okay. And Raymond's big thing is he will not waver from his mission, and we support that. And as people of color, we have to be the first example of saying that we're going to release all of our biases and we're going to make a difference. And we're going to impact this country, this world, this planet, e-commerce, our children on a level that the world's just not ready from. As my Uncle Bill used to tell me, we got to get the world ready for you because we're coming. And I'm going to end this on this note of thank you for sitting in with us for the first episode of Motivational Sundays with Kevin, Friends, and Family. Fade to Black. I'm out.
Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook.
And share.
And share.
All right.